Hey guys, Steven here, Cafe Racer Podcast. So today I've got something new that came in from our friends at Mosko Moto. If you've paid attention to the show, you know that I went on the first ride up the Divide trip and Mosko Moto was one of the sponsors, and I used primarily all their gear for my luggage. And what I took on the trip was a backcountry 40-liter duffel, which I'll show you in a minute. What this is Mosko Moto's 60-liter Scout, the D60 roll top duffel that is kind of configured a different way. Where the 40-liter backcountry duffel is open-ended on both sides, this is a top load. So what you get in this set is a 60-liter bag with the securing straps all attached. There's carry handles. In the back of here, there's backpack straps we'll talk about in a minute. Inside here, so you can carry this thing as a backpack as well. And you also get a really cool dry sack, a 20-liter dry sack that you can use to keep clean clothes in or anything dry you want to keep inside the bag. And then you also get this piece that clips onto the top that you can use as a mat pocket or a molly platform. And we'll talk about the molly gear in a minute. But what I want to do with this today is kind of do a comparison between this and the 40-liter backcountry. And the reason why I bought this was because I'm going to the Overland Expo and I want to be able to take my Redverz tent. Now on the trip, on the first ride Divide trip, all my camping gear was Big Agnes, and I had a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2, an ultralight two-man tent. That everything I had, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute, fit inside that bag. Tent, sleeping bag, pad, chair, plus some shoes, some clothes, everything fit inside that bag. I also was carrying a small pack pod tripod on that, as well as some items inside the beaver tail, some maps, some snack bars, things like that. The goal of this is to be able, this being 20 liters more, to fit the entire Redverz tent in here and my sleeping gear, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think. We'll see. I can fit the Redverz tent and the tent poles in the 40-liter backcountry duffel, but that's all that fits in there after that. So hang out with me here. Let's check this out. We'll go through what this thing has, and we'll do a little comparison and see if everything fits. All right. I've got the backcountry 40 here. If you haven't seen one of these, this is a really cool product. Double-ended roll-end bag. The difference is this bag is a bag within a bag, just like their backcountry Denier. So the waterproof lining of the bag fits inside of it. I'm not going to go over all the features of this and how it works, because you can go on Mosko Moto's website and they've done some great videos on how these things work. But just so you get the general idea, opened at both ends, you can roll one end up, clip it, stuff everything you need to stuff in it, and then when you get done, these ends clip together like this as a regular dry bag, and then the clip goes over the top. This is the beaver tail feature. I've actually had a tire underneath this thing, so that's what the beaver tail looks like. Molly on the outside, little zippered mesh pocket here, tent pole pocket here, clear pocket on this side. Great product, 40 liters. I rocked this thing for 15 days on the first ride up the Divide trip, over 3,000 miles. Never had a problem with it. Fantastic piece of kit. Like I said, all my sleeping gear was in this with some room to spare. And same thing on this, inside the zipper part here, backpack straps as well. So if you need, you're gonna go hiking, you wanna take some food or some supplies with you, or like a day pack, this is what you need right here. Perfect, good to go. Outside of this is a heavy-duty Denier fabric. The difference between that and this is single opening. It's a roll top. There's not a bag within a bag, because this is a completely seam-sealed, waterproof duffel by itself. A lot of great attachment points, handles all over it. There's 4 handles on it. This is Velcro and a roll top, so this closes by securing down on the ends like this. Goal is going to be, can we get the Redverz tent and the sleeping gear inside here? So let's see what I took on the trip and see the size differences. This is the kit I took with me. Now, keep in mind that the 3 of us that run the KTM motorcycles pretty much had the same kit, with the exception of the fact that I had the 40-liter Mosko Moto backcountry duffel, where Spencer and Jarrett were running the 30 liters. Reason being, I'm a lot bigger, my gear was bigger. So my sleeping bag and my pad were a lot larger than theirs. I'm 6 foot, 265 pounds, wide-shouldered. I like a big bag. This is a Big Agnes Park Series Summit. It's a 15-degree bag, and this is a Big Agnes Double Z insulated pad. So these are larger than what they were using. Also carrying a small pillow, inflatable pillow, a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2, and a Helinox Chair 1. So this kit, all of this, fit in the 40-liter backcountry duffel with some room to spare. I had some shoes in there, spare clothes, some shorts, stuff I put on when I was in camp. The goal is going to be to get all this inside this 60-liter bag, plus the Redverz tent. This is a big tent, about 50 liters in volume. Now, this is the stock Redverz bag. It's not a dry bag. They make a dry bag for it. It's got some compression straps on it. That's about it. Inside this bag is the tent, the poles, and all the stakes, everything needed to set it up. So what I think I'm going to do is try to put this in a compression bag and pack the poles separately on the outside. So let's take a look and see how this works out. And then again, the goal is going to be to also get my chair, my pad, my bag, and my pillow all in the same bag. Let's see what happens. Well, what I got here are some old compression sacks that I had laying around. This, I believe, is a 25 liter. This one, it's a large. I'm not sure how big this is, but we're going to give it a shot. It just says large on it. Let's see. So let's start with the Big Agnes Park Series Summit. See how that goes. I'm going to go from one bag into the other. The thing about the Big Agnes products, which are really cool, is that it's a sleep system. So this bag is designed to be used with a pad. There's no insulation on the bottom of the Park Series bags. So if you're in really warm weather and you're getting a bag that's not made for low temp, you can use a non-insulated pad on the bottom to stay relatively comfortable. Being a Floridian, I hate the cold, so I opted for a 15-degree bag, which I don't think I'd be able to last in 15-degree weather, and an insulated pad. And I was really comfortable in 30 degrees. We were camping on Summit Monarch Pass in Colorado, and it was 32, and Steamboat Lake Campground was in the 30s. I was fine, really comfortable with this sleep system. The pad's designed to lock in the back, and there's also a place to put your pillow. Got a lot of really cool features. All right, so this fits in 25 liters with a lot of room to spare. So we're going to go ahead and compress this thing down. We'll see how it works. I could probably use one size smaller on this, but we'll take a look here. See how small we can get this. Florida weather, looks like it's getting ready to rain. Well, it's smaller, but it's a little wider, so I don't know. We'll have to see in a second. Let's see about the tent. Redverz makes a phenomenal tent. I've had this one for a while. It's not the newer one, it's the last version of the large two-man tent, the Expedition II. And it's great if you're going to set up a base camp and stay for a couple days. To me, it's a lot of work if you're just going to stay for one night. The Big Agnes tent set up really quick. It was phenomenal. You notice there's also some compression straps on the outside of this thing. All right. So here's the poles and the stakes. This tent has to be staked out to use it. I'll put these in separately, or maybe across the top. Let's take the compression straps off for now. And you know, this tent's got to be rolled to set it up. It really can't be stuffed. I'm going to see if I can get it in here in this large compression bag. I just don't think it's going to happen. This bag doesn't look big enough. Maybe I'll put the compression straps back on and see if I can fit it in there, but the width of this tent, it may need to get re-rolled tighter. I just don't think it's going to fit in this bag, but we're going to give it a shot. So I'll be back. Alright guys, so I said I was going to pack the Redverz tent inside here, and I did. And not only did I pack the Redverz tent inside here, I left it out in the rain for 2 days in the pouring rain, and nothing. It stayed completely dry. Now, if you can see on the back of the bike, it doesn't really look that big. It's actually got a lot of extra room in it. This top piece right here with the molly on it is what attaches to the straps on either side and kind of seals the thing up. And it also has a clear map holder in here. But just to kind of show you how we have that tent packed in here, I'm going to go ahead and open it up so you can see inside. And undo the clips. So what I did was I repacked my sleeping bag into this little Alps compression sack, so it made the bag a little bit longer and easier to pack in here, not as bulky. And then here's the Redverz tent inside here. Now the one thing I could have done was I could have put the tent back in the black bag that it comes from Redverz, and it's got additional compression straps on it, and would have even done a better job of keeping it packed in here. But so as you can see, the Mosko Moto 60-liter roll-top duffel easily will take a full size, and this is the Redverz Expedition II, which is similar to the Atacama. It's a full-size tent with a garage that a motorcycle fits in. Packs completely in here with a large sleeping bag. Again, that's the Big Agnes Peak. Actually, yeah, and the Double Z pad. So everything's in here. Oh, and a Helinox chair as well too. It's packed inside here. And then we've got the Redverz tent, which just has its two compression straps around the outside of it. And the tent poles, which this is a pretty big package for tent poles. This is about the size, almost, of my tent, of my Big Agnes copper spur tent. And Redverz tent stakes and an inflatable pillow. So there you have it. Everything fits inside with room to spare. This is a great product. Left it out in the Florida pouring rain for 2 days in the sun. No water inside anywhere. Very, very nice. Another option you've got for packing your stuff. Cool, check it out.